So more people have come forward about being abused by Mercury Stardust, and they've also been abused similarly to how me and Casey were abused. And now, just to be clear, I don't want anything. I don't expect anything from Mercury. I don't want anything from Mercury, especially after their non-apology video and non-taking accountability for what they did to myself and to Casey. I'm just going to take a wild guess and say you're going to say all the other victims are also lying or misconstruing things. Or you're going to put on what you did in the past onto them, like what you did to me and Casey. Like, we weren't transphobic, we are not transphobic, we are not racist, and we haven't been racist. You, Mercury, on the other hand, have admitted to doing that, you've admitted to being transphobic and being racist. I haven't done that. That's you. Don't put what you've done in your past onto me. I didn't do that. You did that. And I know people told me that Mercury put in her comments that she was going to donate to DV the money that comes from the video, her non-apology that she made, which I'm like, great, go ahead and do that. Mercury has always been charitable since 2014, since I've known her. She's always on charity, she's always on fundraisers for burlesque or shows or for community reasons. So like, none of that's surprising. She's always been like that. Just like clearly she's always been abusive, because after me, 2016, after I spoke out and blocked you, which I think is so funny that you were like in 2019, you said I or Casey posted something transphobic, and like you were like, that's the line I knew, there was no return. I was like, Mercury, you didn't have a choice in that. I didn't want to be your friend anymore. I blocked you. You abused me, and I said that in 2016 and 17 and kept speaking out about it, and still to this day I'm speaking out about it because that's what you did to me. So anyways, after that, you went on to abuse other people now that are coming out and talking about that. So again, I'm like, and you had your roommates and friends in 2016 and 2017 message me, I have the messages, message me and Casey and say like, oh, Mercury has changed, she's changed and she knows what she did was wrong and she's a different person now. But now you're like, I didn't do anything wrong and the twins are just lying. So I'm like, so then what were your friends and roommates saying back then? Why were they messaging us saying, no, they changed, and that you, Mercury, said that you said sorry to them, not to us, but you apologized for your actions to them and said that you changed. So I'm like, what was the change then if I'm lying and everything that I posted about is a lie? What was I lying about then? What were your roommates and your friends saying that you changed then? Like, why were they telling me when I spoke out about my abuse back then that you changed and you knew what you did wrong? And now you're being like, they're lying and I didn't do anything wrong. Anyways, I would love to know how much money you donate just for the other victims, because again, I don't care for my own self. I really don't care what you do, Mercury, at all, and I haven't for a long time. Because your reaction like this, not surprising to me. It was surprising just how blatantly you just lied about like the whole like the whole being like, I had to teach you guys how to be tasteful and not be so distasteful and stuff. Like, that's insane, and you know that. And anyone else in burlesque that was around when we were doing burlesque and they saw our numbers, I can't imagine what they're thinking, because I'm like, you? Anyways, this might be the last video I make on this, because again, I genuinely don't care what Mercury Stardust does or says, because clearly she hasn't changed, she's not going to change, she's just going to keep blaming other people for her own actions. Because again, the whole alt-right pipeline and you acting like Joe Rogan thing, that was not in 2014. You said you were bisexual, and even in those podcasts, you said you were bisexual, and you said you were kicked out of your house, that you were kicked out at when you were 18 because you were bisexual in high school. So like, I don't know where this came from, and that you were trying to act super cis and heterosexual when like that was never it. And even in those podcasts, you talk openly and proudly about being bisexual, which like there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know why you're changing the narrative even on that. And you were on those podcasts in 2014 and 15, and I have those clips, and you were catfishing and acting like a 20-year-old college person. So, like, I have those too, and I didn't post it because it doesn't pertain to my abuse, so I was like, no one really cares. But then you moved everything, and now you're trying to be like, oh, none of that's real, I just lied and all of that. When I'm like, what? That's not real. No, that's not real, Mercury. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to make a quick video, and now I'm just thinking about the video that you made, Mercury, that I'm like, oh, I could just go through it and talk about everything wrong about it, but I'm not, because again, I don't care enough, and it's just silly. But please do respect the other victims who are coming out and speaking out about their abuse and what they have survived from Mercury. The victim blaming to me isn't surprising, but to other victims speaking out, stop doing that, stop victim blaming them. And if I see any transphobic or other victim blaming comments on my thing, I'm going to block you guys. So, like, it doesn't really matter. I don't care for your opinions. You have no value here. So, like, don't bother. But if you are going to bother, just support the victims who are coming out. Even if you don't believe me or Casey for whatever reason, and for some reason the narrative is that we can't change, but Mercury can change. The twins can never change for whatever reason. Mercury made up lies, and they can't change about those lies. But Mercury can change with all this other evidence and proof, and admitting to, like, being in a relationship with a minor. Anyway, support victims and believe survivors. Bye.